here for the Sunday show right here on the Line Network. We did like a 5-6 hour live stream thing last night. It was a lot of fun. We did one for Christmas. We did one for New Year's. So we really appreciate everybody who bothered to tune in today. Now, we want to say right at the outset, we're going to strive to do as normal of a show as we can. We do have some callers lined up, so we're going to get straight to callers right away. No 3-hour waits today for sure, because we won't be on that long. But we'll do this as long as we're actually getting theist and interesting callers. If the calls start to wane, hey, we get it. It's a holiday. It's the night after a big party. We're amazed anybody bothered to tune up. Most of the other places who might have been interested in doing shows today, they just gave up. But we want to have some calls and some looks at it. So let's start right now. We got full lines. You ready, Jimmy?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Hello? Let's go. We got Wildman Chris in North Carolina. You're on the line.
Hello, Matt Dillahunty. Finally getting to meet you. That's awesome.
Awesome. How can we help?
Okay. First, forgive me if I'm slow. I had a stroke, so I had to take this slowly. Okay. Christianity is the only religion where people get killed in mysterious ways. When they reject, I sent you the email with the video to make it easier to correspond with you. I hope you got it. If you did it, can I send you the video? Because I'm trying to get some answers. But people in the old time services when Christianity was not Joel Osteen Christianity today, and all that lukewarm crap. But there people, the preacher would. In one sermon, the preacher was preaching J. Harold Smith. That was his name. And there are 3 businessmen in the upper tier making fun of him, and he prayed under his breath, "Lord, let me go up there and beat the devil out of all 3 of them. Just let me back for 5 minutes." But God told him, "You give them to me, I'll deal with them." And somehow, all 3 of them died, and the very last person before he died, he said to his secretary, "You see that setting sun? That before that sun sets, I will be dead in hell." And that's never happened in Hinduism. That's never happened in Islam. That's never happened in not even voodoo.
It's never happened at all.
It happened in my family. I can give you 2 examples. Yes, it did. Wow, J. Harold, can I even email you the evidence I got so I can
It says you have evidence that God is true. Now, first of all, when you say here's a story that's only ever happened in Christianity, that's simply not true. Pretty much any story that you're going to tell about people being convinced of what God does or doesn't do, that's happened in any number of different religions.
And
the evidence, and by the way, I don't know why you're talking about a preacher that asked God if he could go kick some people's ass, and then God said, "No, I'll take care of them," and then they died. When did they die? Right then?
No, they died that the next day. Can I email you?
The next day. Why didn't God take him out the day that he said he would?
I have no clue. Can I email you the videos? And
what if they'd have died 2 days later? Would that have still counted?
I guess the thing is, it's mighty coincidental, and these coincidences do not happen in Islam, Hinduism.
I'm asking questions here. I'm not looking for you to explain it or say it's a coincidence. I'm not even convinced it happened. I have no evidence it happened, but let's just assume it happened. Let's say it happened 3 days later. Does that still count where it's God?
It can. Yes, I guess.
What about a week later? If God told the preacher to take care of them and they all died a week later, does that count?
But it's mighty funny that it happened the day after.
Does that count?
I don't know. I don't freaking know.
I don't know either. What if it happened a year later? If they all died within a year, does that still mean that God took them out?
That would lessen the power of what happened to them. That would lessen the affect what happened to them. That would make the credibility. That's the word I'm looking for. That would lessen the credibility that it was God. But when it happened the next day,
there's no credibility. There is no credibility that it was God. You have to prove that because a preacher was convinced of something or told a story, A, that the events actually happened, and then B, you have to demonstrate link to a God. I don't know how you can do that.
Okay, I got two more instances that I put. Tupac, the day before he died, was shot and killed. Evander Holyfield asked him, when are you going to give your life to Jesus Christ? And Tupac said, I'm balling now. Women, fast cars, money. And he died mysteriously the next day. And Marilyn Monroe, Dr. Billy Graham tried to talk to her about Jesus, and she blew it off with mockingly, and she died mysteriously. That's never happened in Hinduism and Islam. Nobody's ever...
Okay, wow, man, Chris. Every time you say that's never happened, I'm going to laugh at you.
Give me some examples, please. You can email them.
I don't... No, sir. You don't get to say that's never happened and then suggest that somebody else has to prove you're wrong. That's not how reality works. Every time you say that's never happened, I'm just going to laugh at you. Because whether or not it's ever happened is irrelevant. Whether or not it ever happened in another religion is irrelevant. What Evander Holyfield said to Tupac is irrelevant to when and how Tupac died. You are drawing lines between a story, which, by the way, happens all over the world all the time, urban myths all the time, and then you are saying, gosh, I can't think of any way this could have happened unless there is a God who did this. Well, no, that's a failure of your imagination and your reasoning. That's not evidence for God.
Okay, but how do
you have that there is a God who can do this stuff?
How did the person who was making fun of God did not believe? How did he know he was about to go in hell?
I've been making fun of God for decades.
And when
take me out, you coward, you big pussy, you big coward, you big lazy ass. I do it all the time. You are cherry picking people and situations where you can't prove a thing. What I asked, and this is the only question I'm interested in, what evidence do you have that there is in fact a God that should be considered as a possible explanation for the cause of those deaths?
The poignant, striking coincidences of just enough tantalizing proof so that you, hey, maybe this is true, but you have to still have faith.
No, sir. So what I asked you for was, what evidence do you have that there is a God that can do this? And you went on to talk about coincidences being proof. Coincidences aren't proof, which is why they're called coincidences. When somebody says that's a coincidence, they aren't saying that's evidence for a proposition. But in order for, let's say we have this big mystery where you gave 4 examples where somebody was told they were going to die and they died. That's cool. Now you have to propose an explanation for them. And your proposed explanation is that there's a God. And my question was, what evidence do you have that there is in fact a God which should be considered a candidate explanation for this?
Well, how can I discount it when I have no evidence disproven? Why
would you not answer the question that I'm asking you? Why is it that when I tell you exactly what I'm looking for, you come back with, why should I discount it? I didn't say anything at all about discounting it. I asked you let me make this very clear. What evidence do you have that a God exists and is a candidate explanation for these mysteries you listed?
I can think of no other evidence for it.
That is not evidence, sir. Your inability to understand, imagine, or comprehend a situation isn't evidence for fucking magic. This is now a waste of time.
No, I'm trying to find this for my peace of mind.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Those stories are all bullshit. The story of Tupac, there's no reason to believe the Holyfield Tupac story. And Tupac, by the way, had been a believer, and he switched between Islam and Christianity a few times. It's obscure to know he was rather obscure in the final years of his life as far as what he believed, and there was probably some changes there, but I literally have zero reason to believe the Holyfield story about Tupac. I don't have a good reason to believe any of your family stories. People are recounting, presumably people who actually died, but frankly, I'm wanting to see evidence that anybody even died in that rapid succession with 3 all at once that you're suggesting.
Can I just give you the video?
I suspect these stories are true because they sound like the same bullshit stories we as atheists hear all the time about. Oh, well, if God isn't real, how come when Darwin was on his deathbed, he looked up and
he said, oh no, what have I done? I see now the truth and the light, and God is the only way. I so fear what I've done to humanity. And then what about how Albert Einstein, when he was a 12-year-old, he was talking to his teacher, and the teacher said there is no God, and then Einstein said, is there such thing as darkness? And the teacher said, yes. Nope, that's the absence of light, and God is the absence of good. And everyone clapped. They sound like the exact same level of fucking stories, and they're all made up by people who are like, you know what would be convenient? This lie, because it will compel people who don't have a high standard of evidence, i.e., and I'm sorry to be kind of a dick about it, but Wildman Chris, your standard of evidence isn't higher than the fucking floor.
No, you can't just close your eyes to what happened. That's showing your eyes shut before I call you.
I didn't close my eyes to what happened. I said, prove to me it fucking happened.
Yeah.
Hey, can I give you the...
Nobody here is closing their eyes to what happened. We're saying we have no evidence, A, that it happened, and you haven't provided any evidence that your candidate explanation for what you haven't proved didn't happen. Did happen.
Can I please at least email the fucking evidence?
You to provide the evidence, and you are just saying it's too coincidental for it to not be God. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not evidence.
Can I please email you the fucking evidence, please, so you can look at it.
Whatever the fuck you want. If you
Okay, we read it. We go over it. We go over it. We go over it, and give me a reply.
What good do you think an email is going to do if you can't provide evidence that your candidate explanation is correct?
For my peace of mind.
I will waste no time watching internet glurge bullshit.
Are you afraid it might be true? That's what bothers me.
No, I'm afraid of you wasting more of my motherfucking time. Are you afraid of answering the question about evidence?
Hell no.
Then answer the question. What evidence do you have that a God exists? Evidence.
That's just like birds know how to fly south. There's something in each one of us that points that there must be a God. And that nobody in Islam.
You don't understand what evidence is, and you don't understand what you should expect for evidence.
Oh, you're never gonna find scientific evidence of God. You're never gonna find scientific evidence of God. It's not gonna happen.
Well, how do you know that? How do you know that, Mr. Smarty Pants? How do you know that there will never find scientific evidence for God?
That's just the way it seems now. For the past 2,000,
it seems now. So how it seems to your ignorant ass is how you are concluding it will therefore be for all times for everybody. I feel really bad, Wildman Chris, but you don't have a path to knowledge and understanding, and clearly I can't provide one for you.
I'll review the evidence.
I've already reviewed the evidence. You've presented no evidence. There's nothing to review.
In the email.
There's nothing you can put into an email that you couldn't have said right here.
I have a stroke. I have a stroke. That's why I'd be better with my written communication. I had a fucking stroke.
No, sir. Your stroke doesn't make it so that you are unable to say the words, here is my evidence.
Because I forget a lot of things.
You're going to write down.
Can you just please review it? And give me an answer.
I will not allow you to waste any more of my time. Thank
you. At least I got it on a fucking show. The moral of the story is they're afraid to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Because they're afraid there might be a God.
to think that an email from them is going to have anything more than what they had.
Last time you called him, you told Emmanuel you were done with him. Is that a permanent state? Should we tell him call back when it's other people because you're not interested?
Let's try it. I'm feeling generous today.
Sure.
In January. Hey, Emmanuel, here in Texas, slave of Christ. How can we help you in 2023?
Yeah, I just want to say Jimmy has ruined my life. You know,